How many official Kingdom Hearts figures are there? It seems like a simple question, but the length of this video betrays the contrary. With dozens of manufacturers, over 40 distinct product lines, and a general lack of documentation, the world of Kingdom Hearts figures is a tangled mess, but it is with great pleasure that I invite you to follow me down this plastic rabbit hole. Before we begin, I want to cover one little thing that runs the risk of undermining all the research I did for this project. I can already see the headlines. Phony Game Archivist reads off Wiki, calls it research. It's true. The Kingdom Hearts Wiki has a marvelous section on merchandise, complete with detailed coverage of every Kingdom Hearts figure I'm discussing today. But before you start polishing your pitchforks and looking up my home address, I recommend you take a look at who wrote all those articles in the first place. I consider Kingdom Hearts figures to be roughly split up into 4 tiers of importance. Tier 1 is the most important, and not so coincidentally, the highest quality. This most honorable category is filled by the various arts lines distributed by Square Enix. Figures in Tier 2 are also produced under the Square Enix or Disney name, but do not belong in the main arts collections. Basically everything else falls into Tier 3. This covers every line of officially licensed third-party figurines, from the most mainstream to the most obscure. The fourth and final tier is for all the special figures that aren't part of an existing figure line, typically one-off items in a different, unrelated line of Kingdom Hearts merchandise. With the tiers established, let's go over some of the products I am not covering. Plushies are the first to go, since those aren't really figurines, so we can toss aside the Kingdom Hearts plush, Disney Tsum Tsum, Disney Nuimos, and why are there so many of these? Similarly, all the acrylic stands are out of the picture, but not without an honorable mention to Figpin. Jewelry is also off the table, since even I can't stretch that into counting as a figure. And no, I'm not counting the life-size statues. Please, don't make me count the life-size statues. As mentioned, there are a lot of figures, so unless you want this video to be 8 hours long, I won't be discussing the details of every individual figurine. I'll show them all on screen, but I'll only be calling out specific figures that are particularly noteworthy or interesting. Alright, the rules have been set. Ready? Tier 1 is the truest form of Kingdom Hearts figures. These were created under the auspices of Square Enix themselves, and are probably the best figurines we'll be looking at today. Tier 1 is also the most well documented. Of the 6 art lines that make up this category, only one of them wasn't already archived by the time I started this project. These ones will make the most sense in chronological order, so let's get started with Formation Arts. Right off the bat, we're tackling one of the more complex figure lines. There are 2 series of Formation Arts figures, the original series, which ran from 2005 to 2008, and the Kingdom Hearts 2 series, which ran from 2010 to 2013, and both series have 3 volumes of figures. The figures in the first 2 volumes of the original series also have rare monochrome variants. Overall, I think the Formation Arts line excels in posing the characters. I'm a particular fan of Pete's cartoonish weapon supply, and basically all of the KH2 figures. I won't get into the minutiae of their construction, but I will mention that the figures in the original series doubled as chess pieces. Anyway, there are 18 original Formation Arts figures, 12 rare monochrome variants, and 15 Kingdom Hearts 2 series figures. Only one series in, and we're already at 45 figures, and 11 of them are Sora. In fact, let's get a Sora counter going. Place your bets as to how many Soras we'll end up with, since it's gonna be a lot, and also let me know who you think gets second place. I'll show a tally of how many figures are added to the total at the end of each collection. For figures with multiple characters, I'll count it for each character individually, but I'll have a separate tally for the overall number of figures so these duplicates don't mess up our total count. The second Tier 1 line is Play Arts, one of the better known collections, running concurrently with Formation Arts from 2006 to 2010. There are 4 series of Play Arts figures. In August 2008, Square Enix also released Play Art Arms, a collection of Keyblade accessories that could be attached to the Play Arts figures. The Play Arts line is based on Kingdom Hearts 2, but 2 outfit choices stick out. Kairi, who's in her school uniform rather than her more iconic KH2 attire, and Cloud, who has reverted back to his KH1 look. I like the variety of Keyblades on display here, but there's also this strange focus on Halloween Town in Series 3 and 4. Altogether, out of the 18 total Play Arts figures, 9 of them are Sora. Although the Play Arts line ended in 2010, it would be revived in 2013, but before we get there, we have to stop at Static Arts, or the first 2 Static Arts figures released in 2008 and 2009. There are 3 sublines that we'll get to later, but for now we can just add 1 Sora to our counter and move on to perhaps the most famous of Kingdom Hearts figures. PlayArts Kai, or, overly literally, PlayArts Revision, the sequel to the PlayArts line. Starting in 2013 and continuing to the present day, these figures are of higher quality and possess a greater range of articulation than their predecessors. Like the original, however, PlayArts Kai offers 9 Soras out of 18 figures. I think it's worth noting that the Aqua figure is explicitly based on Kingdom Hearts 0.2 Birth by Sleep and Fragmentary Passage, the only figure to hold this distinction. We also have alternate pieces for the Dream Drop Distance Ultima weapon and the Dive Wing, 2 gorgeous Keyblades that really need more attention. But PlayArts Kai isn't the only Tier 1 series still in production. We also have Bring Arts. Starting production in 2017, these figures are of smaller scale and lower price than PlayArts Kai, and the Kingdom Hearts collection takes inspiration exclusively from KH3. I'm also counting 2 2019 figures that are technically part of the Final Fantasy line, but they feature Cloud and Sephiroth in their KH attire. In addition to adding 8 Soras to the board, the Bring Arts collection throws a bit of a wrench into my tallying system. The Axel and Terra figures come with exchangeable headpieces for Lee and Terra Xehanort, respectively. Axel and Lee are already combined for this exercise, but while I won't count the Terra Xehanort figures separately from Terra, I'll still make a note of it. Rounding out our first tier of figures is the Bright Arts Gallery. These die-cast metallic figures were unveiled in 2022, and they are the first collection today that doesn't feature a single Sora. Rejoice. There are 2 sorts of figures that occupy Tier 2. The smaller Square Enix lines that run alongside their main arts figures, and whatever this is. Before we get into Tier 2 proper, let's round up the Static Arts sub-series I mentioned earlier. There are 3 Chibi figures in the Static Arts Mini line, and another 2 in the Static Arts Gallery line, released in 2016 and 2017 respectively. Interestingly, the shadow is specifically said to be from Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key. There's also the Avatar Static Arts, from closer to the time of the original Static Arts series, which hosts a single figure. And of course, it's another Sora. Let's finish crossing the murky line between Tier 1 and Tier 2 with the Avatar Trading Arts Mini. Technically, they're a part of the Trading Arts Mini line, which is in turn part of the Trading Arts line, which is a collection of arts figurines like the ones in Tier 1. But unlike the Static Arts Mini and Avatar Static Arts, there are no Kingdom Hearts figures in the main Trading Arts line. Keep in mind that these tiers are not real and completely pointless, so I'm just going to go ahead and count the figures already. Before the Avatar Trading Arts Mini came out in 2010, we had the Avatar Mascot Straps, released in 5 volumes starting in September 2009 and continuing into November the following year. There are a lot of Final Fantasy characters in this collection, and the 4th volume is made entirely of characters from Final Fantasy XIII. Even though none of these characters have appeared in Kingdom Hearts games, it's still a part of the Kingdom Hearts figure collection, so on the board they go. Keeping with the keychain figure hybrids, we have 2013's Kingdom Hearts character straps. This cute little collection features 5 of the most iconic enemy types: Shadow, Dusk, Meow-Wow, Flood, and Meowjesty? Hey, remember how the PlayArts line had a separate Keyblade collection called PlayArts Arms? Well, it was actually the second one of these, released 1 year after 2007's Master Arms. This isn't exclusively a Kingdom Hearts merchandise line, 3 of the 5 weapons were from the Final Fantasy series, but we have 2 flavors of Kingdom Key to work with. These aren't figurines, so they don't count for the purpose of this exercise, but they're worth mentioning for completeness sake. We can continue forward with our tally unchanged. Now, this next line is the sort of thing that made me want to make this video. It is with no small amount of excitement that I would like to introduce you to the Disney Magical Collection. As its name implies, this is a set of Disney figurines, and 12 of them are from the Kingdom Hearts series. From what little info I can scrounge up, The first wave of 120 figures was released around 2002, and the remaining figures came in a second wave in 2005. Each figure also came with a catalog card. Interestingly, the Valor form figure uses the literal translation, Brave form, and Mickey Mouse is just King. After adding 5 unsettling Soras to the pile, we can now move on to the final first-party figurine line. The Square Minimum Collection. This is one of the harder ones to track down. The Sora figure was released in December 2002 as part of the Kingdom Hearts Final Mix Platinum Limited Edition, and is the only Kingdom Hearts figure in this selection. The Final Fantasy side of things has 2 more figures of interest. If the purported release date of 2003 is to be trusted, these figures would be the first ever to feature Cloud and Sephiroth in their Kingdom Hearts outfits. We finish off our second tier of figurines at 49 Soras, with Riku as the current runner-up. We are now entering Tier 3, the land of third-party figurines. There's no turning back now. First up on the proverbial chopping block is Nendoroid. Starting in 2018 and continuing to the present day, this line has a total of 11 Kingdom Hearts figures. I think all the characters turned out pretty well, but I find the poses of the Sora figures to be quite amusing. So, the first Sora figure released in December 2018, right before Kingdom Hearts 3, so of course it uses the iconic KH3 render pose. In May 2021, it was followed up with KH2 Sora in a pretty normal stance. But in July that same year, Nendoroid released another version of Sora in his KH3 outfit, so they went back to the signature forward-facing look. All of these Sora figurines released alongside Riku, who keeps getting a bit more annoyed each time. Anyway, quiz time. Which 3 characters come with the sea salt ice cream accessory? The answer is KH3 Axel, KH2 Sora, and KH3 Kairi. Why? It's actually a connection to the Axel figure, representing their time together in the secret forest, and there are also some other extra pieces that allow for neat figure interactions. But I have to move on now to the rest of the Tier 3 figures, and up next is the one you've all been waiting for. Funko Pop. Personally, I'd like to move on from these abominations as quickly as possible, but Funko is not making it easy. We have the first wave of Kingdom Hearts Funko Pop with 9 figures, including 1 Rare Chase variant, 3 retailer exclusives, and 2 New York Comic Con exclusives. The second wave of Funko Pops with 13 figures, including 3 rare variants, 6 retailer exclusives, 1 San Diego Comic Con exclusive, and 1 E3 exclusive. 3 unnumbered combo packs with 8 figures in total, including 1 pack of GameStop exclusives and 1 pack of Chase variants. 3 Pocket Pop keychains, 4 Pop plus Pez figure dispenser hybrids with 1 E3 exclusive, and 25 mystery minis with 13 exclusive figures. And that's all just for the normal Kingdom Hearts collection. The Kingdom Hearts 3 lineup is even longer, with 21 Funko Pop figures across 2 waves, including 2 more rare variants, a whole bunch of exclusives, and a stupid dual numbering system, 2 Pocket Pop keychains, 4 Pop pens, yes those count, 6 Funko 5-star with 1 GameStop exclusive, 1 vinyl double pack, 15 mystery minis with 3 Hot Topic exclusives, and 1 final Funko Pop figure exclusive to GameStop. My appreciation for the Vermilion Samba and Malachite Bolero is the only thing keeping me going through this dreadful batch of figures, so let's quickly move on before someone mentions the Funko plushies. I'd like a nice, easy collection as a breather. Why don't we take a look at SH Figuarts? This is a simple collection of only 5 figures, coming out in 2017 and 2018. Goofy is exactly mimicking his Kingdom Hearts 2 render, Donald is striking a less energetic Kingdom Hearts 3 pose, and we have a disproportionate number of Soras. Everything is as it should be. Moving 1 year ahead to May 2019, we get Korei Chara, a set of chibi figures manufactured by Bandai. There's not much to say about these. I believe they were exclusive to Japan, and I think the facial expressions are amazing, but altogether it's just a nice, easy line of figures. Traveling just a bit further down the calendar to October 2019, we get Medicom Toys Ultra Detail figures. Everyone here is in a pose from renders or artwork. It doesn't get much more straightforward than this. Consider it the final rest before we tackle one of the behemoths of third-party figure lines. Diamond Select. Manufactured by Diamond Select Toys, this is not just one line of figures, but 6. Up first is Kingdom Hearts Select, released in multiple waves from 2017 to 2019. A lot of the Kingdom Hearts Select figures came in sets of 2, 3, or 4, but some combinations were exclusive to certain retailers, and as we soon see, this whole line is one big mess, so I'm going to ignore the packaging sets and just stick to the individual figures. Series 1 of the Kingdom Hearts Select line featured 10 figures, with Sora's dry forms being limited to certain stores and Pluto being limited to Walgreens. Next up is Series 1.5, which in addition to 2 new Walgreens-only figures, reran the Shadow and Soldier as a Target exclusive. Series 2 has a confusing collection of figures from all over the series, including the same Soldier figure for a 3rd time, and a Walgreens-exclusive Timeless River Sora. And speaking of Walgreens exclusives, let's take a look at Series 2.5. Of the 4 figures, only one of them is actually new. The Kingdom Hearts Select line ends at Series 3, which is based off of Space Paranoids, except when it isn't. At least Walgreens got one final exclusive in with Timeless River Pete, while GameStop was stuck with the exact same Soldier figure from the last 3 sets. The second of 6 Diamond Select lines is Kingdom Hearts 3 Select, a continuation of the Kingdom Hearts Select figures running from 2019 to 2020. Like its predecessor, the figurines in the Kingdom Hearts 3 Select line warrant closer inspection. Series 1 has 2 Soras, Hercules, Maleficent, and updated Dusk, something that is definitely not an Air Soldier, but also the same Donald and Goofy from Series 2 of the Kingdom Hearts Select. Surely the second wave will be better, right? Series 2 presents us with 1 new Sora, the exact same Sora figure from Series 1 with a different Keyblade, another mislabeled Toy Trooper, Hercules, and... you've gotta be kidding me. If it ain't broke, just keep packaging it with new toys, I guess. Kingdom Hearts 3 Select ends with Series 3, but at this point they were clearly running out of ideas. So, what characters should we include in our next batch of Kingdom Hearts 3 figures? Maybe a Heartless, how about the Soldier? No, they're beginning to catch on. The people want Sora. The people want dry forms. But sir, we have thousands of unsold toy box Sora figures, and dry forms aren't even in Kingdom Hearts 3. Dry forms, I say, dry forms! The third line of Diamond Select figures is the Kingdom Hearts Gallery. All 6 figures were released in 2019 exclusively at GameStop. I will say, the Maleficent one is one of the coolest figures I've looked at today, and it's reminiscent of the style of the Formation Arts collection. The next Diamond Select collection is Legends in 3D. This group houses 2 Kingdom Hearts figures, being detailed busts of Sora and Mickey. I'd like to move on from this one quickly, since the Sora statue unnerves me. Diamond Select's next offering is the Mini-Mate line, released in 3 series from 2018 to 2019. The first 2 series continue the strange obsession with space paranoids, and the third is based on Kingdom Hearts 3. We would actually have just as many Donalds as Soras here if it wasn't for the Mini-Mates vehicle sub-series adding one more Keyblade hero to the pile. After Mini-Mates, we have Vini-Mates, a similar collection of vinyl figures released in the same time span. Series 1 is pretty standard, but before Series 2 comes the Vini-Mates exclusives, a set of alternate forms limited to specific stores. Series 2 proper continues the weird KH2 Space Paranoids fixation, and Series 3 and 4 are alternate outfits from Halloween Town and Toy Box. After those Diamond Select lines, I'd like a smaller batch of figures to cleanse my palette, so let's mosey on over to the Pixel Pals. Released by PDP in 2018, this is a simple set of 4 pixelated figures. The boxes they come in have short descriptions of each character, finally giving Goofy the respect he deserves. Have you ever thought to yourself, boy, I love Kingdom Hearts figures, but I really wish they were trapped in jars and had ridiculous faces? It doesn't matter if you haven't, since Zag Toys is delivering regardless with 2017's Domez figures. And I mean, look at those faces. Of course, we can't forget the ultra-rare Chrome Jack Skellington variant, or the special San Diego Comic-Con set with golden bases. Maybe those last figures weren't really for you, but thankfully, Jada Toys solved the problem of bizarre facial expressions by shrinking the character's features beyond all recognition. These are nano metal figs. In addition to being tiny, this collection holds the distinction of having the only Xemnas and Master Xehanort figurines. There's also one Kingdom Hearts figure as part of the full-sized Disney Metal Fig collection, which holds the distinction of being the most goblin-like Sora we've seen today. Enough of this, I hear you saying. Bring back the ugly faces. I direct your attention towards the NECA Headknockers, a collection of 4 bobblehead figures from the early 2010s. I think they speak for themselves. Next up, we have Monogram International's 3D foam keyrings. Are foam keychains really figures? They're modeled in 3 dimensions and they have figural in the name, so I think the answer is yes. Which means it's time to get tallying. Series 1 is made up of KH2 mainstays, Series 2 is mostly Chain of Memories focused, Series 3 gives us a trio of trios, and Series 4 is themed around Kingdom Hearts 3. It's worth noting that Series 4 is actually made up of bag clips, not keychains, but it continues the series numbering from the keyring figures. But at least it includes my favorite Kingdom Hearts characters, Dark Aqua and Nobody. They also sold the Sora and Riku figures from Series 1 as Hot Topic magnets, but hot gluing a strip of metal to the exact same foam model is not enough to increase the tally. Monogram International loves to make certain merchandise exclusive to Comic-Con events, and the figural keychains are no exception. The first of these was limited to 500 units at San Diego Comic-Con 2016, and that's just the normal Sora figure with a special keyblade. Well, no matter, we'll take a look at the 300-piece Kingdom Hearts Deluxe set from New York Comic-Con 2016, and... What about San Diego 2017? New York 2018? Yeah, so despite all of these limited releases, none of the figures are actually exclusive, just the extras they were packaged with. We are now entering the final 4 figure lines in Tier 3. These collections are the earliest third-party figures, each dating back to 2002, and by my estimation some of the most obscure. I'll start with the Mirage figures, composed of 2 series of 12 figures, each split into pairs. The groupings are a bit odd at first glance, but make sense if you think about it. But I prefer not to stress my mental facilities, so let's move on to the second series, released sometime between 2002 and 2004. Ah yes, my favorite Kingdom Hearts characters. Requiem, Rhapsody, Mersora, and Heartless Riku. In addition to selling Kingdom Hearts branded ramen, Nissan celebrated the release of Kingdom Hearts with their own line of figures. Their early release is really the most notable thing about them, but it seems like each figure also had a transparent variant. For an earlier third-party figure, we will have to go take a look at another food brand. These are the Asahi Inryo bottle cap figures. There are 2 volumes of 12 figures. One was a promotional tie-in with Mitsuya Cider, and the other one was sold with a Briarly soft drink. Each of Asahi's drink lines was also given a set of 10 keychains. These are given a mention in the Kingdom Hearts Ultra Hint book. Remember that from the Digital Painter video? Good, because it will come back again sometime in the future. To tie up the last of the main figure lines, we have Takara Tomy with the Kingdom Hearts figure keychains. Unlike the previous 3 figure lines, we have an officially verified date of release, March 2002. There are 6 small plastic figures in this line, and given the exact release dates of the other KH1 era figures are still unconfirmed, these little guys can be considered the earliest known Kingdom Hearts figures. We have now taken a look at every collection of Kingdom Hearts figures, but we still have some stragglers to take care of. Now, I bet you thought we had covered all of the really high quality figures around 3 tiers ago, but that's not the case. Enter Ichiban Kuji. This retailer/monthly lottery has held 4 Kingdom Hearts events with a variety of merchandise, and prize A is always a statue. The first collaboration was held in December 2018 to celebrate the then upcoming release of Kingdom Hearts 3. So naturally, its prize A features Sora and Mickey in their KH3 attire. The second lottery was held in 2020, and its statue has both Sora and Roxas. Each round also has a super special Last One prize, a variant of one of the normal rewards. This time around, the statue was given this special treatment, swapping out Sora for Axel. The third lottery was a 20th anniversary special and included 3 statues, one of Sora, one of Kairi, and the special last one variation of the Sora statue. These figures are based on the parallel box art of the Kingdom Hearts All-in-One package and Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory. The final Kingdom Hearts lottery has yet to be held, but prize A will be a Sora figure in the pose of his Station of Awakening, and the last one prize will be a Roxas variant. Next up is a special figure I know several of you have already written a passive-aggressive comment about me forgetting. The Super Smash Bros. Series Sora amiibo. Another Sora for the pile. Remember Monogram International? They're back with 2 more products that aren't part of their main 3D foam figure collection. We have a pair of Sora and Mickey piggy banks, released in late 2020. And our paperweights figurines? Well, I think they count, so we can throw these 4 Kingdom Hearts paperweights onto the stack, uncanny as they may be. And because nothing is ever simple, there are 2 gold variant paperweights exclusive to San Diego Comic-Con 2011, and 4 pewter variants exclusive to San Diego Comic-Con 2012. Last, though I cannot say for certain that it is not least, we have a Hallmark Christmas ornament of KH3 King Mickey. At least it's not another Sora. And with that, we have reached the end. We have looked at every single Kingdom Hearts figure in existence. There's nothing left to do now except tally up the totals for each character. Without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the... Did you really think we were done? Of course not. There's a whole wealth of unreleased Kingdom Hearts figures that were shown off as prototypes, but for whatever reason, never made it onto store shelves. First up is an old favorite, the Diamond Select line. Not content with its already convoluted release pattern, Diamond Select Toys boasts the largest collection of unreleased figurines that we'll be looking at. Prototypes for the original Kingdom Hearts Select line were shown off at the 2017 New York Toy Fair, including 6 figures which were ultimately cut from the final release. Roxas, Maleficent, Jafar, Iago, Abu, and a creeper plant. Shortly thereafter, the Minimates line was shown off at New York Comic-Con 2017. The removed figures from this batch were Timeless River Mickey, Timeless River Donald, Wisdom Form Sora, Birth by Sleep Mickey, Donald in his wizard outfit, and a Shadow. The 2019 New York Toy Fair hosted a wealth of prototypes. The lost figures in the Minimates line include Mike Wazowski, Monstropolis Goofy, Baymax, Kingdom Hearts 2 Sora, the Caribbean Sora, and Elizabeth Swan, while the Vinimates line only had 2 casualties, KH3 Mickey and KH3 Sora. Finally, several retailers posted listings for Wisdom Form Toy Box Sora and Guardian Form Toy Box Sora, both presumably intended for Series 3 of the Kingdom Hearts 3 Select line, but they never ended up seeing the light of day. Despite being a simple collection of 5 figures, the SH Figuarts lineup lost 1 member during production. At a display in Tamashii Nation 2017, they showed off a prototype Roxas figure, which never made it into the final set. Our last unreleased figure set comes from Zag Toys, creators of the delightfully malformed Domez figures. Around the release of the Domez line, UCC Distributing updated their website to include a display of 12 Kingdom Hearts Rockers, which are a small and rotund type of action figure. The fate of these rockers is ultimately unknown, and there is no evidence that they ever saw production. That covers all of the unreleased Kingdom Hearts figures I have discovered, but I'm sure there are more figures we'll never hear about that were quietly tabled before being revealed to the public. Anyway, we can now move on to the final tally, for real this time. Without further ado, let's go ahead and take... As if. Of course there's more. It's time for a bonus round. I hesitated to include these products in my initial count, but there's no more holding back. Do you like board games? Board game pieces are basically just budget action figures, and Talisman Kingdom Hearts Edition has 11 of the most iconic characters in tiny plastic form. Sora, Riku, Kairi, Donald, Goofy, Mickey, Terra, Ventus, Aqua, Xion, and Mulan. This is also the only Mulan figure in any Kingdom Hearts line, and aren't you happier now that you have this knowledge? Do you remember the very first figure line we looked at in this video? It was Square Enix's Formation Arts from all the way back in 2005. And do you remember the special quirk of the original series Formation Arts figures? I mentioned that the figures in the original series doubled as chess pieces. That's right, it all comes back to where it began. As our last stop on this truly wild ride, I now present to you Alba and Ater, or as it is also known, chess. Each Alba and Ater figure represents a specific character, identified in the official Square Enix product listing, and they are exact replicas of the pieces from the Kingdom Hearts 3 cutscenes. The silver and white pieces symbolize 9 of the 7 Guardians of Light: Sora, Riku, Kairi, Mickey, Terra, Aqua, Ventus, Roxas, and Axel. The stars that fill out the ranks of the light pieces are simply labeled as Starlight. The black and gold pieces are representative of the real Organization 13. Xehanort, Ansem, Xemnas, Young Xehanort, Terra Xehanort, labeled as Terra Gold version, Vanitas, Dark Riku, Xigbar, Saix, Luxord, Marluxia, Larxene, Demyx, Vexen, Xion, and, in what is either a bizarre oversight or a hint to a change made during the development of KH3, Xaldin. And with that, we have covered every piece of merchandise that I can possibly call a figurine. Our journey into the world of Kingdom Hearts figures has come to an end. So, without further ado, There wasn't supposed to be a third fake-out in this video, but literally the day after I finished editing the final cut, Medicom Toy announced a new wave of ultra detail figures based on Kingdom Hearts 2. Like the first line, all of the figures are replicating a render pose. And we're done. That's all the figures. No more. This last-minute batch of ultra detail figures will mess up the script, but just pretend I said the right number the first time around, okay? Thanks. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the final tally. How many figures does each character have? Let's start at the bottom and work our way up. Of the 101 distinct characters I identified, nearly 50 of them have precisely one figurine. Some of these are pushing it to even get this far, like the KH3 Disney characters who only appeared as prototypes, or Zero, who's included as an accessory for the Jack Skellington Play Arts figure. Terra Xehanort is the gatekeeper into the realm of multiple figurines. With only one Alba and Ater piece and one alternate costume for a Terra figure, it's looking pretty rough. Even the Monstropolis version of Strikeform has a whole pair of figures. This next group has 2 figurines apiece. Some of these never stood a chance, like Anti-Aqua or Peter Pan, but others I'm surprised to see this low, such as Master Xehanort, Xemnas, Jiminy Cricket, and the Meow Wow. Shout out to the Toy Trooper, who is misnamed in one figure and getting clobbered by Donald in the other. On screen right now are the 3s, 4s, and 5s. If you ask me, Xion, Ventus, Terra, and Naminé got done dirty, but I'm plenty fine with Chip and Dale only having 5 figures to their names. Jumping a bit, the Soldier is the first character to breach the double digits, with help from Maleficent's Diamond Select figure. This brings us to the final 10. Spot 10 is held by Pete, and number 9 is held by Axel/Lee, who has a respectable 18 figures to his name. In 8th place, we have Roxas, who got a small boost from 2 unreleased prototypes and some shared Ichiban Kuji figures. In 7th place, carrying the weight of the Heartless Forces on its back, it's the Shadow. It got a noticeable bump from having 6 Funko figures, and it could be one higher if I didn't count the Demon Tide as a separate entity. 6th place goes to Kairi. Like the Shadow, she has 25 different figures, but I'm breaking the tie based on the fact that the Shadow has a greater number of unreleased figures contributing to the count. 5th to the top is Riku. PlayArt's Kai and Funko figures are definitely pulling their weight with 5 Rikus apiece. 4th and 3rd place are taken by Goofy and Donald. The Duck just barely has an edge, beating Goofy out by 3 figures, one of which is shared with King Mickey. And speaking of, the Mouse is taking home 2nd place, but not by a lot. Donald and Goofy's totals are helped by having a lot of alternate forms in the various Disney worlds, but Mickey's numbers are a result of pure consistency. And, of course, Sora's the victor of this whole affair, with a whopping 159 figures. There is at least one Sora figure in every single collection except the Bright Arts Gallery and Kingdom Hearts character straps. Sora appears in 11 different Formation Arts figures, 26 Diamond Select figures, and 34 Funko figures, and that's excluding unreleased prototypes. Those top 2 lines alone are enough to win outright, and Funko by itself would still place Sora just shy of the top 5. Grouping the Sora figures by outfit, we can see that his KH2 and KH3 versions are the most common, but his alternate forms in Halloween Town, Space Paranoids, and Toy Box are holding their own, as is Final Form. Which, of course, leads us to the question we started off with. How many Kingdom Hearts figures are there? Putting everything we discussed in this video together, I've come up with a total of 658 figures, which you could lower to 587 if you don't want to count anything outside tiers 1 to 4. Just about 23% of all Kingdom Hearts figures are Sora. That's one Sora out of every 4. So, there you have it. I hope you learned something new from this exercise. I know I certainly did. Sometimes you just have to be on the 35th page of eBay search results before you can reach enlightenment. See you next time.